There's a lot of lies and rumors impacting a lot of controversy in current true crime cases.
And we are here to talk about that. I posted a video a while back that I'm sure many of you have seen by now, asking the internet why they suddenly believe Lindsay Clancy did not murder her 3 children. And that video sparked a lot of comments and arguments and just stuff that we would like to sit here and talk to you about. So, this series, however many parts it needs to be for TikTok to be happy, is going to be us talking about misinformation we have seen on the video, lies that are being spread about the case, and the true facts that have been presented in court that are being talked about with the jury, the judge, and the defendant and prosecution.
So, one of these things that I'm noticing is people will do one quick Google search and suddenly they were there. They were a fly on the wall when this murder happened. They were actively. Did you know that there are over 30,000 people on our TikTok comment section that was actually in the court trial room?
Yeah, that's what I've learned.
Yeah.
One of the things I would like to talk about right now is you guys do not know this woman. Please remember that. You do not know her. You weren't there. You don't know what was going through her head. You don't know anything. You are only learning what is being presented to you by people spreading misinformation and by what Google AI overview is telling you.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen a lot of people talking about how, well, she was a great mother. Do you know that? I have seen two sides. There is a group of people that are saying she was a great mother, which multiple witnesses have testified that she was a great mother. I do not doubt that. But then there's also a lot of people that have said they have seen her talking about how she didn't want to be a mother. She hated her kids. You guys don't know her. You don't know the husband. You don't know what happened in that home that night. You only know what is being presented to you. We only know what is being presented to us.
Mm-hmm.
We have looked at court documents, we have looked at articles, and we have listened to, what's the word, of her waiving her rights.
Mm-hmm. We listened to the trial. And I am sure all of you TikTok warriors, Instagram Reels warriors, all of you social justice warriors watched the full 3-hour trial. The 3-hour trial number 6, mind you.
Yes.
So 6 3 hours trials.
Yeah.
You watched all that?
Yeah.
Hey, if you did, let's not mitigate the fact that there are genuinely very good, very reliable news reporters on TikTok, on Instagram.
Yep. Yeah.
All of you people, you guys are doing great. Yeah, you're doing the Lord's work out here.
We are talking about the people that are under the assumption they know everything about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because one woman on TikTok made a video going, "Did you see him? He looks like Chris Watts. He has to be guilty." That's your evidence? That's your evidence.
He gives me an uneasy feeling.
Yeah.
He killed his kids.
Chris Watts, yes.
Yeah,
he most definitely. I mean, we know that is fact. That is, he was tried. He is in jail. Prison. He did do that. But just because two white men have the same mannerisms does not mean that is an admission of guilt from Patrick Clancy. We are not here to defend Patrick Clancy. We have our own opinions, I'm sure we will talk about in a second.
Some of us in this room believe he did kill his kids and framed his wife.
And one of us thinks that he had a hand in it, but that she did commit the murder. I will say, I have seen a lot of comments of people saying that they believe that he did it and is framing her. And then someone will respond and say, "What's your evidence? What's your sources? Why do you think this?" And then that same person will respond and say, "Oh, I don't know, I'm not following the trial, I'm just repeating what I saw in a video." That has been, out of the thousands of comments we have, that has been one of the most prevalent I have seen. And I also would like to clarify right now in this moment, I made a video talking about how everyone needs to stop citing their sources as TikTok videos. And there was a person in that comment section telling me by me liking and responding to misinformation, I am promoting the misinformation. No. 1, I like comments so that people know I read them. I engage with comments to share my thoughts about what they're saying. I'm not pushing misinformation because guess what, guys? Google is free. Google is free. I'm not spreading anything by liking a comment or engaging. Most of the time when something is misinformation, I tell them it is misinformation. You can quickly Google something if you feel like it is wrong. You may have to read a lot of articles, because don't listen to Google AI overview. I'm going to insert right now a photo of Google AI overview telling me Patrick Clancy's email IP address was traced to his laptop in the Clancy house, and then it telling me in the same breath, literally like what, 2 seconds after I did another Google search, that it was not traced to his laptop and it was not traced to the house. You cannot trust Google AI overview. Do your own in-depth research. I'm sorry it's a lot of work, but if you want to sit there and argue with people, you need to make sure you have your facts straight first.
And another thing too, if you do want to share theories and things like that, because true crime is an extremely interesting subject. Obviously, people make whole livings off of true crime. We're just doing it for gits and shigs, but it is very important when you are sharing theories and things like that that you're not framing it as a fact.
Yes.
It is extremely interesting to talk about, okay, well, it's a fact that she took away her rights, took away her rights to a fair trial.
Waived her rights.
Yeah, she waived her rights for an investigation.
And a lot of you don't know that. A lot of you do not know that.
However, a theory can also go along with that, is that, well, now Patrick's not going to be looked at.
And he won't.
That's a good theory.
I believe he will not be looked at.
And so with that being said, we also need to increase our media literacy a little bit when we are spreading our theories versus spreading misinformation. A lot of you guys have very great intentions, and obviously these TikTok comments aren't going to go to trial.
Nope.
So how serious can we possibly be right now?
Exactly.
However, it is putting negative views of, for example, postpartum psychosis
and depression.
Like, I don't think you guys realize the Salem witch trials were because of people talking. People spreading misinformation about things that other women were doing. This is how women get killed. Yeah. It's a very simple fact.
Yeah. I would just like to add to that this case is great for bringing awareness to a lot of things that women, or people don't know that women are going through. For example, postpartum psychosis. I won't lie, I didn't realize that was a big thing that could happen until this case. And I am a mom. I had a baby. I had postpartum depression. Not at all close to psychosis, but it was bad. I was medicated. I was on medicine, and I got off of medicine when my baby was 6 months old, and I was fine after that. Postpartum is one of the hardest things women can go through, especially if you don't have help like Lindsay Clancy did not. She was failed by everyone around her, but you guys have to remember, she is not a victim. Those babies are the victims. Sure, she could be a victim for her husband being neglectful, not there for her, yes. But this trial is about the fact that 3 babies are dead from the hands of their mother. And you guys are not remembering that, okay?
One thing I did also want to put up is there are specific biases that are studied within psychology. I'm sure anyone with a college degree knows about this, where we have things like the confirmation bias. So people seeking out information that will only work to what their idea is. So we need to be very aware of our own confirmation biases, because if I want to prove myself to be right.
Yeah.
I want to be right. And when we experience that dissonance of, oh, I'm actually wrong, we're not going to want to really share that. So that's another big thing going on in the comment sections of people wanting to simply prove that they are right, regardless of if that is true or not. So they're going to look and seek out for information stating that they are right. However, much like Donald Trump saying that he is the best president ever, he's polling only from his people.
His supporters. Yeah.
That's an example of the confirmation bias of, am I the greatest president in the world to ever exist? Well, if I ask my best friend who I've given hundreds and thousands of dollars to, yeah, he's gonna say yes.
Yeah. And I think too, so we're going to get into some of the misinformation that we have seen, and then in our research, what we have come across that disproves it. And I just want to point out that we are going to refer to TikTok comments, but that is not to shame anyone. Like the person I mentioned that told me I was spreading the misinformation, I'm not shaming you. I am just letting you know that that is not what I'm doing. This case is very tricky. It's a slippery slope. There's a lot of information being spread. There is a lot of biases that are happening, and there's a lot of women that, mothers specifically, that don't want to believe a woman could have done this. Which is crazy to me. Women can do bad things too. It's not just men. It's a majority men. It's more men than it is women, but women can do things like this too. And I feel like people don't want to believe that, as bad as that sounds. One of the things that I was seeing being spread was it was 100% confirmed that it was sent from his laptop. It is not confirmed yet that it was sent from his laptop. That is still under, it's not even under investigation. He said that he doesn't know if it was sent from his iPhone or his laptop. So the email is not as important as you guys think it is. He could have also had his laptop in the car before he left, or as he was pulling in, whatever, what have you. And another thing along with that is a lot of people are saying, well, if it was sent from his iPhone, it would have said sent from iPhone on the bottom of the email. You can disable that and you can delete that. Anytime I have sent an email from my phone, I have deleted the sent from my iPhone thing at the bottom of the email. That is not a cold cut thing to prove it was sent from his laptop. And I hope that we understand that. More people than I'd like to admit have said that that's a proof of guilt because it didn't have sent from my iPhone. That's not, you can delete that. You can delete it. So that's one of the misinformations. Another one I'm gonna have Jalen talk about because she did the most listening and reading for this. A lot of people say that Lindsay Clancy was over medicated.
Yeah. So there is a big conversation talking about Lindsay was completely over medicated. She was so disoriented that she had no idea what she was doing or what was going on, and things of that nature. Now, I'm not talking for the night of, okay? Night of, anything can happen. There probably is evidence of some sort focusing on how medicated she was, especially because it was known that she took a bunch of pills right before her leaving Earth attempt. However, she had multiple prescriptions for things like depression medication. I believe she had I really want to say one of her medications was it was something like a temporary mental health medication doubled as an antipsychotic. We'll put stuff on the screen to talk about that.
Yeah.
However, I will say the murders happened in late January of 2023. Her last refill of her prescriptions were in October and November of 2022, and they were all 30-day prescriptions. I know the Zoloft had about 23 tablets left, so she only took 3 of her pills of her Zoloft, which is the depression medication and things like that. She had multiple other medications. One of them was not even touched. It was a prescription that was not recently filled and it was never touched. So I don't know where the narrative that she's over medicated came from. If you would like to know some more information about that, it was talked about on the day 6 trial at about 45 minutes in.
You can read it in the transcript.
Yep, they found all of her medications.
Yep, so she was not overly medicated, as a lot of you are assuming. Again, leading up to the murders, maybe something was different. I'm not too sure, but yeah, she was not sedated like a lot of you think she was. Now, again, we don't. One of the theories people have is Patrick had medicine that he was feeding her to make her sedated. That just doesn't make sense to me. because I feel like everyone around her would have noted that she was off in that sense, and a lot of people testified like I stated prior, that she was a great mom. She was awesome with her kids. And if she was being sedated by her husband in the ways that a lot of you people think, people would have noted that. It's very, like, I took Zoloft as my antidepressant postpartum and while I was pregnant, and there was a notable difference in my behavior. I was happier, I cried less, I slept better, my anxiety was way down. If she was being sedated, you would think she would be maybe considered a lazy mom, not active, stone-faced, cold to her kids, and she was described as none of that. I just want to put that out there. I want to give you food for thought in that sense on that aspect of the medication.
And this part of this conversation is theories.
Yes,
we're gonna
that,
say.
Yeah. Yeah. Another misinformation that is being presented. This one angers me because we have a supporter in our comments a lot that brought up that they have seen this before and someone cussed them out because of it, which is also, if you are debating with someone, the minute you cuss or are extremely rude to them, you lose that debate in my eyes, because you are a child. You can talk to them normally. You can be kind. You don't have to be rude when you're just correcting someone.
Mm-hmm.
Got that out of the way.
Yeah, if you let's talk about some arguing tips. If you get defensive, you
You're
already
wrong.
prove that you don't
Yeah.
think you're correct.
You genuinely, when you are debating someone, you do not have to be rude to prove your point. Cussing doesn't make you look cooler or make you look smarter. In my opinion, it makes you look dumb. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So the misinformation that is being spread, that, like I said, one of our supporters fell into, is Patrick Clancy got remarried and got his new wife pregnant 4 months after the murders happened. That is not true. One quick Google search, an article read, tells you that Patrick Clancy did not get remarried until this year. Did he start dating his current wife 4 months after the murders? There's debate about that. Who's to be sure? We don't know him. We're not in his life. But he did not remarry and have kids 4 months after. That also doesn't make sense. Pregnancy takes 9 months. He would have had to been cheating on his wife, which is another theory people think, that he was. I'll get into that in a second. Hold on. So no, he got remarried this year. It was not 4 months after. And I need you guys to stop cussing at each other and be nice. But a lot of people say that his business trips were to New York, and his current wife lived in the area that he would business trip to, so a lot of people think he was cheating.
How do you date? How do you date?
After that happened?
No, like how does one date other than using dating apps?
Like Tinder and stuff?
Yeah, how do you date other than using Tinder apps?
They had to have met in person. Maybe,
yeah,
on one of his business trips.
Meeting in person when you go to a certain area multiple times, and you probably are like going out and mingling with people.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound kind of crazy? Is it weird to get to know people?
To get to know someone that maybe you ran into a few times? I will say, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I believe he was cheating on Lindsay during his business trips. Do I think it's a little odd that she was in the same area? This is a theory, by the way. We don't know if this is proven or not. I don't know if she was actually in that area, but a lot of people think that.
Mm-hmm.
And I, again, don't know if it's true, but if she was in that area, that's a little weird. That's a little side-eye-ish. You can be like, okay, that's strange. But also, if he's in New York all the time for business, they could have bumped into each other.
Mm-hmm.
We are not in these people's lives. You guys are very parasocial when it comes to cases like this. And it's sad. Because I can't imagine you sleep good at night being plagued about the fact your very close friends, the Clancys, are going through this right now. You don't know them. We're not in his life, okay?
Now, does the evidence point to this man wasn't a great husband?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was definitely negligent. 100%. facts of the case. Father-in-law said he offered to watch the kids the night of the murders, and Patrick told him no. That's weird. We will admit that that is weird. We're not going to sit here and say it's not. Is it strange that Lindsay, over and over again voiced that she was having these thoughts? She wasn't doing well. It was talked about in the trial, right? She was admitted places. She called crisis helplines. She was trying to get help, and she was failed. She was failed by her husband. She was failed by everybody around her. But most importantly, those babies were failed by their own mother, father, and everybody around them. Let's not forget that, okay? I do full-heartedly believe he was not a great husband. But again, we are not in their lives. We don't know. We know that if your wife comes up and tells you I'm having these thoughts, you send her to a loony bin. She goes bye-bye for a little bit, okay? He did not do that. She had to do that to herself. That is a bad husband in my eyes.
Yeah. Even if, and I'm talking any father in the world, was unsupportive and things of that nature, that is a circumstance that led to the end result.
A catalyst.
Yeah, there are factors that can lead to the end result.
100%. Another thing that I've been seeing is a lot of people are talking about the DNA on the bands that were used in the killing, only having her DNA on it and the rest having Patrick's. I would like to just say two things real quick. One, exercise bands in their own home. No dud's gonna have his DNA on it.
He's probably the one working
He's
out.
probably using it. The second thing, the DNA on the knife. People say her DNA was not found on the knife. Beats me. We didn't look into it. Do you want to tell them why we didn't look into it? What they waived in court as to why we're not going to look into it?
Yeah, so Lindsay's rights to having... So essentially, there is a document in legal proceedings. There's the start of, are you going to plead guilty or not guilty? Typically, there's an answer to that. After that is determined with your lawyers and things like that of what are you going to plead, sometimes there's another door that gets open. So if we say I plead guilty, however, I can have an additional step to be added, which is what had happened with her case. So she essentially waived her rights to say what I said happened. We do not need to look into it further. And within that document that she signed and actively declared that she was in the right state of mind and determined that she was in a good spot to agree with this, essentially boils down to listen to what I account for, and we do not need to find evidence of it. Meaning, I said I strangled my kids with the army, with the exercise bands. You do not need to find evidence that points for or against this.
They are not going to look into that, guys. They're not.
Yeah. Everyone says that there's an answer to it. And yeah, if you look up NBC News, if you Google, was Lindsay Clancy's DNA found on the exercise bands? An answer's gonna come up because someone's getting paid to say yes or no. But if that was said yes or no in the trial, once again, did you watch that 18 hours worth of footage?
Yeah. She waived them to... So she pled... I'm gonna dumb it down in case people like me need it dumbed down. They pretty much... She said, I did it. You don't have to look into it to prove that what I'm saying is true. I did it. Don't look at the evidence. That's the TLDR. And they're not going to. So any DNA found on the bands, on the knife, anything like that, is void. That has no sustenance to this trial. You can quite literally listen to her waive these rights in the transcript. There's audio of her saying, yes, your honor, to him asking if this is what she wants to do. And the judge even stated, and I quote, I'm going to go over this with you again because you are waiving a lot of your rights.
He seemed concerned about her.
A little bit, yeah. Which, I'll get into that in a second. I have theories, she has theories, we have opinions. We just want to get into the meaty parts of the misinformation being spread. Yeah, they're not going to look into that DNA. Is it fishy? Yes, it's a little fishy. It's a little weird that the DNA is skewed, but that doesn't matter. She pled guilty at first. Her lawyer pretty much was like, well, it doesn't seem like you were of sound mind when it happened, so we're going to do not guilty for reason of insanity, with a whole bunch of her rights gone out the window. So you guys arguing about the DNA, to yourselves you can prove maybe that that's weird. The judge, the people in the court, the jury don't care about the DNA. It's not important. If Patrick Clancy were to ever take stand, sure, maybe the DNA will be brought back up again. I'm sure it would. But for Lindsay Clancy specifically, it's void. It does not matter to the trial right now, because the trial is a sanity trial. The prosecution is trying to prove she was of sound mind and did it maliciously, while her attorney, the defendants, are trying to prove that she was clinically insane when it happened, so she's not of guilt.
Oh, another thing with that is the current court documents that's going on right now. Lindsay is the plaintiff, and Patrick is the defendant, essentially. So Lindsay's, her team called for this trial. Once again, she was found guilty 3 years ago.
Yep. It's a retrial, guys. This isn't the trial. This is a retrial. A sanity trial.
And if you want to argue, we have the literal court document.
I will put a picture somewhere on the screen of the court documents that we are referring to.
That says she is the plaintiff.
Yeah. So my bad when I said she was the defendant, but her attorney, I will say, is...
Oh, I don't think you said she was the defendant.
I did.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said her defense, and that's fine.
I think that's what I was trying to say, but brain, no worky. A lot of other things people are talking about to prove that she couldn't have done it was, one, her body temperature was 82 degrees. Patrick had claimed that she admitted it to him right away, that she did it. But the paramedics say that she was unresponsive when they got there. It was January when this happened, right? She went out of the window into snow.
Bleeding out.
She had cuts on her. Now, to note, in the court document, her blood pressure was normal. Take that how you will. That doesn't sound like someone who was losing lots and lots of blood.
Yeah, we're no medical experts. We don't really know how that goes.
We're just regurgitating what we have read in the court documents. She fell into snow, and she was in the snow for, what was it? Like 20, 30 minutes? Something like that. In January. Her body temperature is going to drop significantly. Now, I have seen a lot of people say, well, body temperature would drop that low if it was like 40 minutes out in the cold. She had wounds.
And was not dressed to be galloping in the snow.
She had wounds, and she's paraplegic now. She had destroyed the bottom half of her body.
She was dying.
Yes. So her body temperature would drop more quick than you think it would.
And I'd imagine her oxygen levels were low too.
Most likely from hitting her back on the floor. Snow is not going to brace your fall, by the way. It looks soft. It's just wet water.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit the ground no matter what.
And that was her intention.
That was her
to
intention.
Hit the ground. Or someone else's intention on her was to hit the ground. But
we'll
what?
Get into that in a second. But yeah, so a lot of people are using that as an argument, but you have to remember that she had wounds on her body. She fell from her second story. I believe it was the second story window. And yeah. So again, her blood pressure was normal. Take that how you will.
It was mentioned that Lindsay's thyroid was crushed when, as a result of an injury from the whole situation that she was in, which provided the idea that she either was or was not able to tell Patrick when he had gotten there that the kids were in the basement and that she killed them. And that part is hearsay from Patrick, okay? That part right there It was mentioned in court that Patrick said that upon when he first got there that she told him that the kids were in the basement. However, it is also confirmed by the paramedics that her thyroid was crushed and she was unable to talk. It's basically like you're kind of being choked when you're being spoken to.
And
yeah. When you're trying to
affects your
speak.
vocal cords.
Yep.
So
so that is a fact. Two things can be true at the same time. Of this part here is hearsay of what Patrick said. We don't know the actual answer in that situation. And it is also a fact that her thyroid was indeed crushed and she was unable to speak for a period of time after her injuries.
Take that how you will.
Take that how you will.
It's a little weird.
It's a little interesting.
So, but that is the bulk of the misinformation that we are seeing being spread. So we're going to get into some theories and stuff that we have seen and what we think. Because we've been kind of quiet. A lot of people have been asking us, like, after reading the comments, what do you think? And my opinion has been the same every single time, that I still think she did do it. But I do think she had a little worm in her ear telling her things, neglecting her, causing her to get worse and worse and worse and worse. I think Lindsay Clancy killed her kids, but I think Patrick Clancy had a hand in what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no evidence to support my theory, to be honest.
Ooh, let's talk about it. What's your theory?
No, my theory is honestly that this is a lost cause, and this was a mental health break situation that was taken advantage of. Either she did have her hands in killing her children, or somebody else did,
and is framing her
and took advantage of a really beautiful, this is a beautiful open golden gate situation for someone that wanted out of a situation that they were in.
Life. Yeah. Oh, another thing just before we get into this more, a lot of people keep bringing up phrasing that Patrick Clancy has said to prove he is guilty. Stop. They mean the same thing. Saying she fucking killed the kids versus she killed the fucking kids. Now, Jalen kind of explained to me why you guys think this, because she works in mental health and she worked with children at one point. So one of them is what did you say? I'll let you explain it.
One side is a disagreement of the action. So she killed the kids versus a disagreement of who she killed. So she killed the kids. You know what I mean?
She effing killed the kids versus she killed the effing kids. One of them is kind of dismissing the children and one of them is dismissing the action.
Mm-hmm.
They do, though, sort of mean the same thing. So I don't know why people are so hyper fixated on those phrases. Yeah. I mean, again, I do kind of get one of them is like the kids are set aside, that doesn't matter. The other one is, oh my god, my babies.
Yeah. It's a matter of when we hook ourselves onto a certain phrase that someone is saying. We could say, if this was a movie, if this was a TV show, yeah, that could be a great admittance of guilt.
Yeah.
Someone should write that. Yeah. That's a great show. However, this is a human being in a frenzy. They just went home to find out their entire life flipped upside down. I don't know about you, but when I go through extremely terrifying and crazy stuff, I say some crazy stuff.
Yeah. That's actually a perfect segue to something else I wanted to say, that a lot of people are like, oh, he's fidgeting on the stand. He's doing the same movements Chris Watts did. Hey guys, he has to relive the trauma that he was put through. Whether you believe he actually did it or not, that is still something that happened to him. And we're gonna just we're gonna rip it out right now. We're gonna act like he didn't do this at all. There's nothing he did wrong, okay? We're gonna take that out. This is a man that has 3 years later has to relive finding his wife on the floor bleeding out, finding his children dead in the basement. No duh he's gonna fidget. No duh he's gonna say he can't remember. It was 3 years ago. That was traumatic. Brains block out trauma. Yeah. Okay?
And also with Lindsay crying too and having genuine human reactions.
Yeah.
We're empathizing with her genuine human reactions, but we're not empathizing with his.
Which is crazy.
Because at the end of the day,
She did it.
these are people with their children dead.
Yes. Yeah.
And if she was in a genuine psychotic episode and she was having a very crazy mental moment going on, that, by the way, if you're watching this with sound mind, you can't conceptualize that. You cannot understand psychosis unless if you've actually been through it.
Nope.
You cannot understand being genuinely out of control of your body.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why, like, when I say that I had postpartum depression, I'm not comparing it to what she went through. I understand in a very, very small sense of having scary, scary thoughts. I never had thoughts about my baby. I had thoughts about myself to the point where they kept having to up my dosages. And then eventually my hormones settled and I was okay. But that's not the case for most people. And Lindsay Clancy is an example of that. I will never know what it's like to go through psychosis. But hopefully, knock on wood. But I do know what it's like to have scary thoughts with a newborn. Which, another thing, her youngest wasn't a newborn. Her youngest was 8 months old at the time of the crime. And a lot of people are saying that the youngest was a newborn. Typically, postpartum psychosis, Jalen made a video on this. Go watch it if you haven't seen it already. Typically, postpartum psychosis happens in the first few weeks after you give birth.
Most often, it'll be 1 to 4 weeks. And this is because this is when the hormones are going to be having the biggest shift. There's going to be our receptors not really being able to grasp onto serotonin or understand any of our hormonal levels. There's going to be a lot of cortisol raising very quickly, and you can actually have a very sudden and very high cortisol spike. And typically that is going to shift your brain into kind of a different mode. However, it is very harmful to blame this on postpartum. The courts are not bringing up being postpartum.
No, they're just bringing up the psychosis part of it.
Yeah.
And I just would like to say 8 months postpartum, your baby is starting solids normally, or has already been on solids. You're weaning them from breast milk, you're weaning them from formula. Now, I'm only going to talk about this in the sense of breastfeeding because that's what I did. When your baby starts to wean and start solids, your hormones start to mellow. Like, we started our baby on solids at 4 months old. We stopped for a month because he had no interest in it, but we tried. We started again at 6 months. At 6 months postpartum, I got off my medicine because my hormones were leveling back out. I wasn't as filled with estrogen and filled with cortisol and things like that, and I started to mellow out. I cannot speak for her because, again, we don't know her. We were not in her house. I don't know how hard I don't know how hard it is to have 3 children. I only have 1. And I will never know what it's like to have 3 children, mind you. But I do know 8 months postpartum, you do tend to start to feel normal again. So with her having psychosis that late into postpartum with a new baby, that's what's pointing me to believe that there was more going on that we don't know with Patrick Clancy. That's why my theory is still that maybe something was going on with him. He was in her ear. It could also just be the negligence that he was doing, not being there for her, not letting her really have a support system that caused her to go into psychosis. I also know that quite literally almost anything can cause it. I have a family member that has went through psychosis because of marijuana and an abusive relationship she was in. So, abuse is actually, in my opinion, a big factor for a lot of the times mental things like that going on. So again, we don't know. We don't know what he could have been doing, saying to her, and I just am trying to reiterate the fact that a lot of you are saying that the youngest was a newborn. No. No.
Yeah.
So all of her children were older than newborn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will say, so we're gonna get into our more theories again. Sorry we got sidetracked there. One thing I'd like to bring up, I'm not sure if you've seen it, him changing shoes between errands on CCTV footage. That is weird, I'll give it to you guys. TikTok detectives, that's strange. That is strange. I will say another thing is a lot of people are talking about how he sat in parking lots or something along those lines. That feels pretty normal to me. That's not an admission of guilt. Sometimes I'll go to a store and then I'll just sit in the parking lot and doom scroll.
And sometimes just sitting in a parking lot means that you are not excited to go back into your home situation.
That's also something I'd like to bring up. Just do not come for me when I'm about to say this, okay? Take it with a grain of salt. We don't know what she could have been doing to him. Psychosis genuinely makes you lose your mind. You are not yourself when you are in psychosis. We don't know if she could have been doing something. And I'm going to say this because it also raises the question of what could she have been doing to the kids? And obviously, that's why this trial is happening. And why would he leave her alone if she was that bad? That's where the negligence comes in. That he was leaving her alone with the children when he should not have been. He was going on weekend-long brunches, even though he knew that she was saying she wanted to hurt them and herself. I'm gonna say it, he was not a good husband or dad for leaving them alone with that woman. I asked my husband, because this case is going around and I was curious, I asked him, what would you do if I came to you? And I said, I want to hurt myself and our son. And he said, you're going away. Like, bye.
Bye-bye.
You're not gonna be here. You're gonna go, stay somewhere, get better, then come back. Yeah. That's a normal person thing to say. Patrick Clancy did not do that. He did not do that. He failed her. He failed his children. He is guilty in the sense of he shouldn't have done that.
And her doctors failed her and her children. The thing is in the social services industry, we have 2.5 minutes to spare per day. In the helping field, we have 0 seconds to spare. Half of our people aren't even getting lunch breaks. Half of our people are going home and taking more work home in order to maintain on their caseloads. This is a problem. And the fact that this isn't being addressed properly, if we're not taking perfect account into what our clients are going through, if we are not having proper follow-up regimens, because we don't have time for follow-up regimens.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time, discharge paperwork includes a aftercare follow-up within the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Literally, who has time for that?
Right.
Do we have enough time for our initial assessments? Probably not. So she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder after this event.
Mm-hmm.
However, it was said that she was being evaluated for bipolar disorder before the event, like a little bit before, around when her medications were prescribed and filmed. So around October and November of 2022. So this is when she's being evaluated for and looked at for this. So she's not being properly diagnosed because what's happening? She has 3 kids that she's caring for basically by herself.
Yeah.
Do you have time to make all of your mental health appointments right now with one kid?
No.
If you had
I don't
appointments?
don't even have time to eat.
Yeah. I've been feeding you. No,
she has been actually. Like, I normally will not eat until after my baby is in bed because he's a toddler now. And he's running everywhere. I have to chase him constantly. I can't imagine that with 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with an 8-month-old who's not walking, you know?
Yeah.
And what you were just talking about reminded me to say that a lot of you guys are dogging on that doctor. Yes, she should have looked and studied her notes from Lindsay Clancy. I will give you that. That was not okay for her to do. She was on trial for murder. But as Jalen said, as someone who works in a similar field, she sees thousands of trauma patients. You know, it's gonna merge together at some point. That's why I'm giving the flowers to the nurse who took the stand and could recount everything. Good on her. Let's remember though, doctors normally have a bigger workload, have more to do than nurses do. Now, that's not always true. I worked in the healthcare field. That is definitely not always true. A lot of the times, doctors will slack off or just let the nurses or the aides on the floor take over everything. The doctor should have studied her notes, 100%. Don't know why she didn't do that. But also, like Jalen said, their workload is crazy. You cannot expect that much out of a doctor like that. And I just take it easier on this doctor. You know, doctors do a lot. Healthcare workers do a lot. Mental health care professionals do a lot. We got to remember that. That this doctor most likely saw, I want to even say close to like 10,000 or more patients over the 3 years. It's gonna blur together. It's gonna be hard to remember. Again, should have studied the notes, I will give you that, but the workload is crazy, as Jalen said. So kind of tone it back. That's not anyone's, that the only fault here is that the note should have been studied closer. Okay?
Yeah, if y'all subpoenaed me on a client that I had 3 years ago, I'd be like, huh?
Who? Yeah.
What happened?
Hard. It's hard.
What week was that?
Yeah, right. It's hard. So you guys got to remember that too. But I will say that, as we talked about, she waived her rights. DNA is not going to be looked at. Most of the stuff you guys are hoping for to get looked at will not be looked at. They are taking her word for it that she did it, and that's what they're looking at. That's all they know. As much as you guys are gnawing at the bars of your enclosure to have Patrick Clancy get on trial, I will admit to you, that is slim to none that's going to happen. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning than him taking the stand.
Yeah.
And I will say in that video, I said I will bite my tongue if I'm wrong. And again, I'm saying that now. I will bite my tongue if I'm wrong. I will make a public apology to everybody, all the TikTok detectives and armchair warriors, that I will just bite my tongue if we turn out to be wrong. Okay?
We'll pre-film apologies if either of us get like terminal diagnoses, or if we get like really, really old.
Yeah.
We'll pre-film
to make
the
sure
apologies.
you get an apology and me physically going, biting my tongue.
Yeah. In case of something, you know.
Yeah. Something happens. I just need you guys to understand, he is most likely not going to be tried for this because of the fact Lindsay Clancy has been tried, has been found guilty, and now is getting a retrial for sanity.
And admitted to it.
Yes.
Oh boy, we both have opinions on that admission.
Well, yes. Okay, so let's talk about the admission. One, Lindsay Clancy woke up to her husband saying that she did it. A lot of people, another misinformation, a lot of people are saying she woke up and immediately asked for her kids. No, she didn't. She woke up and asked if she had an attorney. She also, this is according to Patrick, remember that, we weren't there, we don't know, I have opinions on this. She also woke up to her husband telling her that she murdered their 3 children. That can play into a lot of you guys in the comments are saying, hey, a lot of people can admit to things under pressure. Law enforcement can force them to admit to things. Yes, yes, and yes, that does happen. Do I think it happened in this case? No. Do I think if we are to... Okay, we're going to take this route real quick. We are going to fully assume Patrick Clancy framed her. We're gonna assume this right now, okay? This is all a hypothetical because this is not truly what happened. He framed her, right? She immediately wakes up and he's telling her that you did this to the kids, you did this to the kids, you did this. In her state of, she just fell out of a window, she crushed up pills and took them, she hurt herself with a knife, she's gonna believe that.
Doesn't she also have a head injury in all of this too?
She might.
Somewhere?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
If
We'll
she
cut
did.
this out if we're wrong. Or you guys can just tell us if we're wrong or not.
There's some stuff that we did not look into because of the fact it is void in court.
And also, it's a heavy case with a lot going on.
A lot.
And we're busy people and we don't get paid to do this. So
no, we don't. That would be fun though, because we do like talking about this stuff. We like bringing awareness to it. But So, back to what I was saying. We are under this narrative, this hypothetical, not true situation that he did it, he's in her ear telling her she did it. She will 100% believe that because of the trauma her body just went through. So she could admit that she did it because that's all she heard from her husband. A lot of you guys believe that theory. I can kind of see why you would believe that theory. I will give that to you. I can see why you believe it. However, we weren't there. I'm going to say that a lot. We weren't there.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I think it is very interesting. Like we don't disagree with each other, but we are on different tracks. Like I'm fully like if
Take
you
the floor.
I can man, I do believe if you are in a very traumatic situation and if he figures out that she doesn't remember anything cuz his if he was the killer in this situation, then his intention was for her to die. He didn't do that great.
A lot of you guys do believe that.
And if she does survive, then he's going to be working really hard to convince her. And he's going to be working really hard to convince all of the other people within the situation. And if she gets down and says, "Yeah, I've been having all of this mental health problems, all of these mental health problems going on, and it's pretty plausible that I did kill them. I'll admit to it. I'm not going to make it any harder on any of these other people around because I know that I am a danger and I don't want to be around anyone else."
Yeah, so yeah, we do kind of agree, but it's a different.
Yeah. It's plausible.
It is. It's very plausible. That's why I'm not discrediting you guys that think that, but I will also say about the shoes thing because it just reminded me him changing shoes between errands. My husband does that a lot. He will change into like shoes that are comfier.
Oh, okay.
He will just take his shoes off in the car and change shoes because he wants to be comfy when he walks around a store. So that's not entirely weird per se, because even I do that sometimes. So I just the food for thought for you. But yeah, the admission. There's a lot of things that you could be like, okay, well, you know, but because also too, Lindsay doesn't remember it fully. She doesn't remember a lot of what happened. So it could very well be he's taking advantage of her mental state and he's going to convince her, because if you are trying to start a new life and you think in your messed up brain the only way to do that is to harm your existing family, 1, die, 2, if that murder didn't work and your wife is still awake and, you know, not dying, you're gonna, like Jalen said, you're gonna do everything in your power to convince her she did it.
Yeah, you gotta act fast.
Yeah.
And convince. Yeah. I mean.
Oh, and the other thing too is that it took him X amount of minutes to call 911 because he claimed he had no service. I originally was on the side of, yeah, you can't call 911 with no service. That makes sense. No, or he said he had no Wi-Fi. Which, 1, you can call 911 without Wi-Fi. That's why you have service. And 2, I learned, thanks to you guys in the comments, that you actually can call 911 even if you have no data. You can do that. So that's good for all of you to know and for us to know that 911 can be called at any moment, any time. So him not calling 911 right away because he's claiming he didn't have Wi-Fi is weird. Again, giving you guys your flowers. That's weird.
Very strange.
Very strange. That's why this case is so hard to talk about and to form a solid opinion on, because of the fact there's so many discrepancies, so much just doesn't add up. A lot of it doesn't make sense. Timelines don't make sense, but we have to remember this trial is not for him. He is on the stand. He is a witness. He is not the one being tried. She is. You guys in the comments defending her honor is not going to do anything. TikTok is not going to be shown in court.
No.
Her attorney's not going to go up there and be like, look how much support she's getting. These people don't think she didn't, so she didn't do it. That's not going to happen. This is to prove that she was in psychosis during the time.
Yeah, it didn't work for Luigi, and it didn't work for the Mendez brothers, guys.
It's not going to work.
It's
not going to work. You are quite literally fighting with yourselves about this, which, again, keep going. Good discussions we're having.
Keep giving us engagement.
that too, I guess. But good discussions are being had, interesting things are being said, people are learning a lot. Just, I will say again, please be nicer to each other
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking about this. Just because someone is wrong about something, you don't have to be mean and cuss them out.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of slurs in our comment sections. Because I'm telling you guys now, I read almost all of your comments. And like I said before, I tend to like comments to let them know I read them. That's for mainly like long ones or ones that I like have an opinion on. I'm going to go back to later.
Yeah, like, hey, you put a lot of work into
Yes,
that
there are a
comment.
lot of novels in that comment section, which
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys explaining your thoughts in detail. We really like reading your thoughts and what you think. That's why we do this. We like having a community and discussing things. That's why we're here right now, actually. But there are a lot of slurs going on in our comment section. Stop. Just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean that they're any less than you, that they're dumber than you. You just disagree. That happens. Me and Jalen disagree all the time. Well, actually, no, we don't. We have very similar brains. Me and my husband disagree all the time. We still love each other. We're nice about it. You can be nice to strangers on the internet. The screen, just because you're hiding behind a screen, doesn't mean you can be a villain calling people the N-word or the R slur. Please stop. I stop. Like,
And
just argue or have a disagreement, debate, but do it civilly, like adults. I don't know how many of you are adults, but do it civilly.
yeah, if you're bashing someone over a trial that has literally nothing to do with you or your life, you look like an idiot.
Yeah, there's something going on, and I feel like we need to get a hobby. Like, this, genuinely thank you for bringing that up, because this case has nothing to do with us. It is interesting to talk about, it is interesting to theorize, and, you know, it's great discussions. Like I said, you're not in their life. You don't personally know them.
You don't get a lawyer settlement if you win.
Yeah, you're not on the jury. You're
Nope.
not a journalist in the courtroom. You are sitting on TikTok watching women over and over again talk about how they think Patrick Clancy did it, and then you're tagging us in videos of these women talking about how Patrick Clancy did it as if that's your source.
Which, keep tagging us.
I mean, yeah, we like watching the videos. It causes us to have discussions, but it is not a source, and you guys need to start forming your own thoughts. Like, I feel like we're in a state of a hive mind right now with this case, and we need to take a step back and remember we are our own people. We can have our own opinions. It's kind of like with religion a little bit. You're not gonna sit there and dog on someone for being Muslim because you're Buddhist, right? You're not gonna dog on someone for thinking Patrick had nothing to do with it and it was all just Lindsay. You shouldn't, because one, you're not gonna set her free. Two, you're not gonna look like some hero. Three, all you are doing is just being mean. Point blank, period. You guys need to just let up a little bit on people that have differing opinions than you, because it's fine. That's how you learn. It's how you grow as a person. That's how you realize, like, oh, hey, maybe I should fact check myself before I comment. Hey, maybe I should be a little nicer to this person who I don't know, who's just typing on a TikTok comment of two girls called Ghoulie Girlies. Come on. It's okay.
Yeah, like you're mad at a duo called Ghoulie Girlies.
That used to have a catchphrase of gays, ghouls, and girls. You're good.
You're
Like,
you're mad at us.
you don't have to prove anything to us.
We're not gonna go into court.
We're not gonna defend her. Like, we're not in there. I will say a lot of you guys have great arguments, though. Like, honestly, you should be lawyers. A lot of you in that comment section should be lawyers. You have great comments.
And,
But
like, the industry needs people like you guys.
Yeah.
Like, please
absolutely.
stay opinionated,
Mhm.
stay smart, do your correct research. Get in a courtroom, not this
Not
courtroom
this one. You're
that we're
getting in
talking
there.
about. By the time you're done with law school, this will be over with.
Yes.
But it is a very beautiful display of passion
And
in a
community.
specific field,
Yeah.
like get into the helping field. We need more people in the helping
A
field.
lot of you guys are great at debating and forming thoughts, and I want to say thank you for, teaching us stuff. We learned a lot from your comments. But I want you guys to watch this series that we are currently filming, and right now I'm staring at you. I want you guys to watch this, listen to our thoughts, listen to the misinformation we just debunked, and just be nicer to people that you're talking to. That's all we want. Our goal when starting this podcast and starting our social media journey is to build a community, and we're doing that. You guys are awesome. Just please be nicer to each other. You don't know what someone's going through. You don't know if you cussing them out or calling them a slur is going to set them over the edge. And I know me talking about this right now has nothing to do with the case, but I just need you guys to remember being mean to someone could be their legit 13 reason why. So just please be nicer, keep having these great debates and discussions, keep bringing awareness to these types of cases and how women struggle with postpartum psychosis, depression, anxiety. Keep bringing awareness to these cases. Keep talking about it. Just be nicer to the people you are talking to, okay?
And be mindful to the people that you are talking about.
Please stop calling people slurs.
And every single woman that experiences postpartum psychosis is not going to kill their kids, by the way.
No, they're not. This is kind of a rare case.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of the time they have husbands that help them.
Yeah, and doctors that have time to listen.
Yeah.
And psychologists that have a second to spare.
Yeah.
And probably took a lunch.
And got to breathe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna end this on this note of a few points that I'd like to remind you. 1, we don't know them, we're not there, they're not our friends. Stop being parasocial. 2, do not villainize women in postpartum. Do not villainize them. Postpartum is so hard. Your body is going through insane changes. Your brain literally rewires itself. It's scary. And 3, fact check yourselves, please. And again, Google AI overview, like I said earlier and how I showed you that the proof of Google AI overview contradicting itself, that is not a reliable source of information. Literally just scroll once and you'll find articles right underneath it. Oh, another thing too, please refresh your memory on 6th grade history class on how to check if sources are real, reliable, and right. We learned that in middle school. Dare I even say elementary school, of how to check a source. Please, guys, do that. If you watch a video on TikTok and you're like, oh yeah, this confirms what I was thinking, Google it just to make sure that that person is correct. And if they aren't correct, leave them a nice comment that's like, hey, actually, if you look at this article, you're wrong. So just be careful about, be nice about it. Be careful about spreading misinformation. Just be nice to them about it. But fact check yourselves, even if it's something that's confirming what you believe. It is okay to be wrong. Truly, it is okay to be wrong. Okay?
You're allowed.
Okay. You are.
If you're interested in learning more about this trial, make sure that you're getting it from non-biased resources.
Watch it on YouTube without a commentary person on it.
Yeah, you can watch the trial happening as it is. It's pretty cool.
Don't listen to a woman that's popping up in the corner on a green screen talking to you about it because you don't know if she's right. They're all going to have confirmation bias.
Yeah. Yeah, true. If you're interested in any more of these sort of deep dives into any other cases, leave us a comment and let us know if you're interested in our opinions and us crushing some of the theories that's the misinformation that's being spread.
Yeah, definitely let us know if there's other cases that you guys are interested in that you want us to talk about. We would love to do that. We love hearing from you guys. We have built a really awesome community so far. So yeah, we will look into any case that we think is appropriate and see fit. So yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoy, and please be nicer.
And if you're interested, please be sure to support us.
Follow
like
us.
and comment.
Subscribe to our YouTube. It's Ghoulie Girlies. We haven't posted in a minute. I swear I am getting a case up soon. I promise you.
Yeah.
It's the Moody case. It's very interesting. Jalen did a great job researching it, so we're going to talk about that in our next YouTube video. But yeah, holla. Enjoy this, guys. So yeah, thank you for watching. Keep commenting, keep having discussions, be respectful. We love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.